Hope Found in Darkness, a mirror reflecting our lives. Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night. At times, the words knowledge and cultivation can make us feel inferior or even seem irrelevant to our own lives. However, great stories of the world are not distant artifacts in a museum. Instead, they serve as mirrors, reflecting fragments of our own lives. The book I would like to introduce to you today, Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night, may initially appear difficult and heavy. In truth, it possesses a remarkable ability to soothe and offer insight into our deepest human concerns and wounds. This book does not require any special cultivation. What it asks for is a heart that can understand the common emotions we experience in life: joy, sadness, regret, and love. 1. What is Long Day's Journey into Night? Long Day's Journey into Night is an autobiographical drama written by the great American playwright Eugene O'Neill, based on his own family history. Published posthumously, the work offers a glimpse into how much he cherished and simultaneously suffered from this piece. Set in a summer house in Connecticut during the summer of 1912, it tells the story of a single day. Not just any day, but a day filled with intense emotional conflict as the four members of the Tyrone family confront their past and present wounds, regrets, and a complex mix of love and hatred towards one another. While they may appear wealthy on the surface, the family is on the verge of emotional collapse. James Tyrone, father, once a famous actor, his frugality stems from a traumatic childhood marked by poverty. His love for his family is often misdirected and stifled by his own experiences. Mary Tyrone, mother, a once sensitive and pure soul, she has fallen into morphine addiction after medical missteps during childbirth. Her attempts to escape present suffering through memories of the past only lead to deeper guilt about her current reliance on drugs. Jamie Tyrone, elder son, he followed in his father's footsteps as an actor but failed to achieve success, turning to alcoholism and a life of dissipation. He is cynical and critical, especially towards his younger brother Edmund, yet his words are laced with deep loneliness and frustration. Edmund Tyrone, younger son, a would-be writer who mirrors O'Neill himself, Edmund is struggling with tuberculosis and must soon go to a sanatorium. He is the most honest about the family's reality but also the most vulnerable, with a sensitive soul that perceives both the beauty and cruelty of the world. Throughout the day, the family becomes increasingly intoxicated, dependent on drugs, and consumed by mutual recriminations and repeated dredging up of the past. Yet, beneath these accusations lie complex feelings of affection and frustration, as well as the human vulnerability to resist acknowledging one's own unhappiness. As night falls, the family's souls sink deeper into darkness, ending the day without redemption, each left alone with their own pain. 2. Questions raised for our lives: the significance of Long Day's Journey into Night. What meaning can such a dark and tragic story offer us? For those who may feel a lack of knowledge or cultivation, it may be difficult to see the value of reading such a work. However, Long Day's Journey into Night directly presents raw, universal human struggles that we all inevitably face. It offers profound insight and thought-provoking questions about life. A. The illusion of the perfect family. Through media and social life, we are often fed the idea of an ideal family, peaceful, understanding, and eternally happy. Long Day's Journey into Night shatters this illusion. The Tyrone family appears to have both position and wealth on the surface, yet their inner world is filled with endless misunderstanding, blame, avoidance, and deep wounds. This work teaches us that no family is perfect. Every family has its own history, inevitably marked by pain and conflict. What is important is not to hide or deny these wounds, but to face them with courage. This book opens our eyes to the truth beyond appearances in our families and in our own. It reveals that even in the midst of mutual hatred, deep love and dependence often lie hidden. B. The shadow of the past: weight of regret and memory. Much of the Tyrone family's tragedy stems from their past. The father's frugality is rooted in his impoverished past, while the mother's morphine addiction leads to guilt for neglecting her children. The family constantly recalls the past, searching desperately for the source of their suffering, yet these memories only deepen their current pain. This play vividly illustrates how the past profoundly influences the present. Unresolved past wounds, regrets, and resentments follow us like shadows, affecting our present choices and relationships. Long Day's Journey into Night underscores that while we may never be completely free from the past, understanding and reducing its weight is essential. It encourages us to trace the roots of our actions and emotions, offering a chance for reflection. C. Truth we wish to avoid and self-deception. Each character in the book attempts to deny the truth in their own way. The mother refuses to acknowledge her morphine addiction, while the father denies the negative impact of his frugality on his family. Jamie hides his failures behind alcohol and cynicism, and Edmund tries to ignore his illness. All of them deceive themselves, pretending not to know the truth or feigning ignorance. The play demonstrates how fragile and prone to self-deception humans are. At times, we avoid the truth due to pain, fear, or exhaustion, choosing to remain in comforting lies. This play, however, shows that such self-deception only leads to greater pain and isolation. Facing ourselves and the reality, though uncomfortable and painful, is the true beginning of growth and liberation. D. Lack of communication and barriers of misunderstanding. The Tyrone family is constantly engaged in conversation throughout the day, yet these conversations lack genuine communication. Their dialogue is filled with hurtful words, blame, dredging up the past, and self-justifications. Instead of seeking to understand each other, they project their own pain onto one another and judge their family members' pain through their own lens. As a result, their communication only deepens the walls of misunderstanding. This work serves as a powerful example of how many of our relationship challenges stem precisely from a lack of communication. We may speak a lot, but are we truly listening and trying to understand the other person's heart? Are we conveying our feelings honestly without causing hurt? Long Day's Journey into Night shows us the difficulty and delicacy of communication and the tragic consequences of its absence, reminding us of the importance of meaningful relationships. E. Expanding compassion and understanding, a gaze toward all suffering beings. The characters in this book all have weaknesses and at times may seem selfish or cruel. However, as we follow the depth of their pain and wounds, we find ourselves unable to hate them. Instead, we feel compassion for their fragility and imperfection. The mother and son who rely on alcohol and morphine to escape reality, the father trapped by the trauma of poverty, each is ultimately a suffering being. Long Day's Journey into Night emphasizes the importance of understanding and compassion rather than judging and condemning others' suffering. In our lives, we often meet people different from ourselves and quickly judge their actions. Yet, this play shows us that behind every action, there are complex reasons and deep wounds. By understanding this, we can broaden our perspective toward others and offer compassion to all beings suffering in this world. 3. Reading beyond knowledge and cultivation, gaining wisdom in life. Long Day's Journey into Night is not a comfortable or easy read. It may unsettle our hearts and provoke deep thought, even causing pain at times. Yet, precisely within this discomfort, true insight is found. Knowledge and cultivation are not merely about knowing much. They come from understanding the world, understanding humanity, and ultimately understanding ourselves. This book offers us such an opportunity. Reading it is not just about witnessing a family's tragedy, but embarking on a journey to understand our own families, our own wounds, and the suffering of our society. Perhaps some of you might see your own family's shadow in the Tyrone family, or confront a regret or wound hidden in your own heart. While it might be painful, it can also be the beginning of healing and growth. We become truly strong when we acknowledge and face our weaknesses. Do not hesitate. Long Day's Journey into Night is closer to your life than you might think. Instead of feeling burdened by reading a difficult classic, approach it with the same openness as peeking into someone's private diary or standing before a mirror. Read this book with honesty and openness. At the end of this long journey, you will gain a deeper understanding of the world and humanity, and you'll discover a wisdom to reflect on yourself and become stronger. Could that not be the greatest gift of reading, the true essence of cultivation?